Hey Pilates Party people, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Caroline, a certified Pilates and yoga instructor here in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today's practice is a full body, fun and functional short box workout, making sure that you have your box just off to the side and your ring off to the side as well. Those are our two tools, so let's get this party started with the headrest lowered and foot bar lifted. We have two options of spring levels today. So level number 1 is going to be one heavy, one medium spring. Option level 2 is adding on to that. So one heavy, one medium, and one light spring. So that's level 1, one heavy, one medium. Level 2, one heavy, one medium, one extra spicy light spring. Take a hold of your Pilates ring and let's break dance it to face the front of Reformer. Scoot the bum to the front of the carriage and roll all the way down onto the spine. Head lands on the headrest gently, reaching those legs up to the ceiling, to the sky. Big toe mound, pinky edge of both feet land into the ring, underhand grip with those hands, palms facing the back wall. Now there can be a softness in the knee here, or a reach of the heels up to the sky, finding those hamstrings a little bit more. Sit bones are nice and heavy, equal weight in both the left and the right. The shoulders roll down and back towards the spine and onto the carriage below. The tailbone is nice and heavy and it points right directly into that carriage, so we're nice and settled and anchored. Option here is to stay nice and still if this is a nice stretch. Maybe swaying into the hips from side to side, massaging the back of the hips. Perhaps folding into the knees a little bit more, or folding into one knee, reaching the opposite heel to the sky. Finding your warm up here for 3 more breaths. Last breath here. Exhale, both heels reach towards the sky. Keep that right leg right where it is. Left heel lands under the left sit bone. Right heel kicks up as the toes draw towards the chest, shoulders nice and heavy in the back pockets. Pressing the tailbone down as you exhale, press through the left heel, pressing nice and long through that left leg. Inhale, folding back towards the stoppers. Just before you find them, press out, gliding that carriage back. Inhale, gliding that carriage back towards the stoppers. We continue here for 4. Last 3, it's slower than you want it to be, following your breath. Last 1, pressing out all the way. Inhale, folding in just halfway. We'll find some pulses here, slow as molasses pulses. Press out 2 inches on the exhale. Inhale, 2 inches on the inhale. Last 8. Last 7. Starting to breathe through the back of the ribs on the inhale as you draw in those 2 inches in. Fan out through the back of the ribs. Last 4. Really well done. Exhale, press out nice and long. Pause for a stretch. Left hand finds the left hip, grounding it down in space as you peel the right leg out to the right side. Opening that hip, feeling those inner thighs. Last breath here. Drawing back to center, crisscross that leg over the body, over the midline. Maybe reaching that right arm out to the side in a T. Maybe hand on the hip. Last breath here. Back to center, underhand grip, and fold right back in. Both legs find their way up into that ring as you close the carriage softly. Maybe you find that pedal, maybe you find that fold, just leisuring in this space. Maybe you find that stillness or that sway on the back of the hips. Last breath. Keeping that left foot where it is, right heel steps onto that foot bar just under the sit bones so they're nice and aligned. And soften those shoulders, point the tailbone down. We're ready to rock and roll. Exhale, press it out. Inhale, fold in. Continuing here, just finding your breath. Tuning into how it feels on this side, it might be a little different than the other. The shoulders might start to melt a little closer towards the carriage and towards the spine. Pressing through the heel equally through the outer edge and the inner edge of the heel. This time, as you exhale, press out. Inhale, fold in just halfway. And then we have those molasses pulses. We have 8. Last 7. As you exhale, pressing out nice and long. Inhale, folding all the way back in. Whew. All right. From here, we take both legs back into the ring one last time. Find your space, a place to cool off. Beautiful. When you're ready, we'll take that heel back on and press out for that stretch. So that second side always hits a little differently. Sometimes it's nice to come back in, release and let go, and then we'll feel that stretch off to the side. One more moment here. Back to center and over to the other side. Finding that arm into a T or in that fold. Back to center and all the way back into the stoppers. Take both heels onto the foot bar just for a moment. Slide that ring under your reformer. Knees draw into the chest if it feels good, or the feet walk out to either side of that reformer foot bar, hands onto the shoulder rest, elbows out to either side, and find your windshield wipers. Find your option that feels good to you. Last 2 breaths, wherever you are. Next time, you inhale, draw back to center, walk those heels or land those heels hip width distance apart. Draw the knees into the chest when you're ready and take the hands on the underhand grip. Press through the thighs or rock off to the side, whatever feels good to you. And we're going to change our spring load. So we're coming into a bridge series. That means that we have different spring loads for your level of spring load. If you want a little bit more security in the hamstrings and the glutes and to help keep that carriage into the stoppers, we find level 1. Level 1 is going to be 2 heavy, 1 medium. That's 2 heavy, 1 medium. Otherwise, if you want that level 2, and this time I'm going to join you in that level 2, you can have a little bit more of a challenge taking 1 heavy, 1 medium, 1 light. So keeping your exact same spring load you had for your footwork. So it's absolutely up to you. And again, you can chop and change between the layers. And when you're ready, break dance it towards the front of your reformer, lowering down. If the headrest is not lowered, lower it here. Hands are nice and long by your side for level 1. Level 2, let's reach those arms up over the chest, plug those shoulders in. Feet are still hip width distance apart, heels have landed. And as you exhale, we're going to scoop the tail under towards the backs of the knees, and then slowly lift the pelvis and then stack the vertebrae by vertebrae into that bridge, opening to the front of those thighs and the front of those hips. Inhale at the top, exhale, slowly ripple down, like you're landing a string of pearls onto that reformer carriage behind you. Inhale, exhale, rolling back up. Lifting that string of pearls, arcing those knees to where the ceiling meets the wall. Exhale all the way back down. One more time, just like that. Exhale. Inhale, soften those lowest floating ribs down towards the spine, and as you exhale, slowly melt down 1 vertebrae at a time. We'll start to add on. If you want a little extra spice for your level 1 or your spring load level 1, you can reach those arms up over the chest. Otherwise, we continue here, lifting into your bridge, and I'll meet you in your bridge. On the next inhale, draw the knees out to either side, that nice butterfly. Exhale, draw back to center, lift those sit bones, and then slowly melt down vertebrae by vertebrae. So it's an inhale to reset, exhale to lift. Inhale to open the knees to either side, back to center, and lower down. All the while, those floating ribs at the front of the body here, the last couple of ribs, they're floating and they'll float down towards the spine, keeping the core engaged. We'll add on to that layer if you would like. As you take the knees apart, find the arms into a chest fly, back to center, and lowering down. If the arms are still by your side, of course, that is just the knees out to either side, back to center, and lowering down. Last one. This time we're going to stay lifted. Find those butterflies or those knee openers for 8, 7, 6, keep that lowest rib softly towards the spine. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back to center and slowly rippling down. Whew, draw those knees into the chest, or with the option here to take that windshield wiper from side to side. Wherever you are, we're here cooling off for 3 breaths. We're gonna get into our short box series in 2 breaths. All right, find your way off of your reformer, whether that is sweeping off through this side or underhand grip, pressing through the thighs and rock and rolling all the way up. We're going to meet just seated to the side of your reformer, making sure we change our spring loads to get this party started. Now we are going to go for 2 different spring loads as per usual. This first spring load is going to be 1 medium spring. Second level is going to be light, and it's going to feel quite light. It's going to be nice and challenging on those obliques no matter where we are in space. Take that foot bar just slightly down, just about a little peg down. Take that box, and we're going to place that box nice and short ways on that reformer. Hiding that ring completely under your reformer here, we're going to find a nice kneel onto that carriage. So with the space left that we have on that carriage, we're going to find a kneel. Take that bottom hand just on to the foot bar in front of you, and we're gonna slide a little bit closer towards that box with that inside knee. So that lifted knee, or the knee closest to the box, is going to be lifted, pressing through that standing knee and that standing hand. Press the shoulder away from the neck space or those earlobes. And when you're ready, soften the shoulders, drop the lowest rib, pressing through that standing hand on the bottom. Now you'll feel pretty quickly here how that spring feels. So again, medium being that first level, and that harder, more progressive level being that yellow. It will not help you draw that carriage back into the stoppers. Last one here, just checking out that spring load and giving it a change if you would like it. Exhale, press out, pause. We're gonna lift that top knee over that box and extend that leg. Fold in, draw that knee back down, and draw that carriage back in. Press out, lift up, over, point, and back in. Oop, hitting that box. Maybe I've scooted a little bit too far. So from here we press, we lift, reach, fold, and lower back down. That's the one. I was getting a little too close to that box with that lower leg. Keep that bottom hip lifted. Next time, we're going to press out and pause. So make sure that it feels good to pause. Lifting, reaching, pause here. Little tiny circles for 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember what direction you went in this time. Close the carriage because we're doing it the opposite direction this time. Lift, reach, little circles. Last 2, and 1, fold, draw, and into the stoppers. Whew. All right, we're going to change your spring loads here. So again, we are going to change our spring loads, this time being light, level 1. Light is level 1. And that medium spring is going to be that level 2. So you can imagine that carriage just wants to move and groove. As soon as you're ready, we're gonna take a nice seat onto that box, still facing the same side, and straddle that box. So one foot onto the headrest, the other foot onto that carriage. Knees are just over the second to third toe, so we don't need those knees bowing in. We wanna be nice and strong, nice and long through the spine. Take that strap that is just in front of you, take it to the foot bar hand. Option for a long loop if the short loop is too much tension. And at first, we're just going to have those nice sweeps in front of you, reaching out. And sweep, keep the elbow nice and long. Sweep in front. Inhale, sweep down. Last 2. Now you're more than welcome to stay in this layer, or I want you to take it nice and slowly and modify if you would like to in this next layer. Option here for the second layer, press through the heels, come to hover. Now once you find that it feels good to you, we start to slowly reach and lengthen through the legs, reaching that arm, folding back in. Exhale, and in. So you might just want to have a seat, or you might just want to stay in that nice squat. Otherwise, we have that fold and that lengthen. Hug the inner thighs around that box. Last one. And fold in. Find your seat if you're lifted, and take that strap back onto the reformer. We're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side, so make sure you change your spring loads back. There are a lot of spring changes between the two, or maybe you're finding that it feels good just to keep it on that light or that medium spring, finding the challenge in that as well. All right, when you're ready, taking that nice side kneel onto that carriage and making sure that we're shifted over so that that top knee is softly lifted, the one that's closest to that box. Other hand is on that foot bar, pressing the shoulder in and out. We're just going to press away, nice and long, and then lift through the underarm, soften into the shoulder. Now, if you know your layers and your levels now, and this spring load feels good to you, we're gonna press out, pause, lift that top knee, press it out, fold, and lower back down. I've done it again on this side. I'm scooting too far over. From here, press out, lift, reach, fold, and draw back in. Last 3, wherever you are. Now these layers are designed for you in mind, so knowing what layer feels good to stick around in, if it gives you a challenge, that is your layer today. If it feels good, that extra layer is going to be a press out, lift, pause, reach and extend, little circles for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Remember what way you were rotating, because we're gonna rotate in the other direction. So when you're ready, we press out. Lift that top knee, that clam, reach and reverse. Last 3, 2, 1, fold back in and draw all the way back to the stoppers. Find your nice low kneel. Change your springs if you would like to. Again, lighter spring is level 1, medium spring is level 2. From here, we find our seated position, finding that straddle. And at first, we start by seated in our seated position and take that strap into the foot bar side arm. We're gonna press out, keep the arm nice and long, and draw in front of you. press out as if you're taking big strokes of a paintbrush, reaching up. Option to stay here, option to pause for a moment, find that hover, and press up. Squeeze those inner thighs. Now again, this side might feel a little different, so of course modifying, of course finding what feels good, taking it slow. Last 4. And slowly melting down when you're ready. Taking that strap back on to your reformer, swiveling to face the front or the foot bar, taking one leg crisscross applesauce style into that figure 4, either staying up nice and tall or finding your hinge. We're only here for 2 breaths. Back up and crisscross, either staying nice and tall or rounding through. Last 2 breaths. Now side to side, this exercise feels quite different. Figure 4 seems very easy breezy lemon squeezy, but it does really tell you what you get up to day day in those hips. One side is gonna feel a little loosier and goosier, the other side not so much. And that is a-okay, same here. On crisscross applesauce, and we're gonna change our spring load, so either coming off of your reformer or staying seated. We're gonna change our spring load. We are all gonna have the same spring load today, and that is gonna be 1 medium spring. So you might not have to change at all. You might be changing to that 1 medium spring. Our foot bar is slightly lowered, and we're gonna step onto that platform. So again, if you have a short platform or you're not feeling comfortable, step off and then step back on. From here, we're gonna take the hands to the very, very front of the box, taking the right toes and hooking them from the front of that platform, and the left toes hip width distance apart just in front of that box. Exhale, we're gonna press out nice and long into that lunge, fold into that standing knee, all the way back into the stoppers, and then find your hamstring stretch. So lengthen both legs, folding in, pressing out, folding in. Once you close the stoppers with that soft close, we lengthen through both legs. Fold in, press out. Drawing the chest towards the tops of the thighs. You can make it just as hard as you want it. It can be a little bit of a soft lengthen, or you can dip in. Fold. Last one. Of course, we're adding on to this, so again, what layer feels good to you? Press out, in, 1 more hamstring press, fold, pause here if you want to layer up, take that left hand just behind the lower back. Flip the palm so it's facing the sky, press out, we're doing it all with 1 hand, and drive back up. Forward fold. Option here to find 0 hands, both hands in that racer back, just behind, still finding that forward fold, fold in, and press all the way out. Now that is a challenge. We're only here for 4. Last one here. Ooh, 1 more hamstring stretch. Folding in, taking those knees on to that box. Now we're still staying with that same spring load for level 1 and for 2. Once your knees are on that box and you're comfy cozy, we're gonna walk those hands along the rails. Lengthening through the front of the hips, shoulders and wrists are in alignment here, and flexing through the feet. As you exhale, round through the upper back, a little doming sensation. Hug the softer ribs or the lower ribs softly towards the spine. As you exhale, fold those knees under the hips, draw the heels of the hands and the carriage in alignment, drawing back to center. It almost feels like you're punching forward with the crown of the head, but actually the crown of the head is not moving. We're here for 3. This is a tough one. We're here for 2. We just have the other side of those lunges and you are done and dusted. After this last one, and then we have some pulses here. So when you're ready, folding in, little pulses, inch back, inch in. Keep the floating ribs lifted for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Spicy. Walk it back. Walk those hands and walk those feet back. Onto the other side we go. All right, so from here, it is going to be that standing foot being the right foot if you're with me, and that the left toes hook around that around that foot pad. Now we're gonna take the hands to the front of that box just to start us off and press out nice and long. Send all the weight into that standing heel and fold back in. We'll find that hamstring stretch at the back, lifting up. Forward fold. Fold in, press out. So that forward fold can either feel a little tense, depending on what side, but it can also feel like a little bit of a release. Just checking into that balance. Last 2. Option here, after this next hamstring stretch, it's that taking that right hand behind the back, press, pull, and reach. Fold, press, pull, finding that stretch. If you know the next layer, double hand behind the back, no hands on the box, you're more than welcome to take it. Otherwise, we have about 2 more to even out the sides. Now this time, if it feels good, no hands. This side might feel very different. So it's all good if you had no hands on one side and you're like, this side is a no for me. That is a-okay. Find your challenge. That's what we're all about. Almost feels like a speed skater here. I don't know what it is about it. I think it's the same movement or the same arm action. Last 2, wherever you are. Hands, one hand, no hands. Whew, one last hamstring stretch, forward fold. Take those hands back to the box. Have a nice seat. Whew. Finding any other cool down that feels good to you. And you, my friend, are done and dusted. Thank you so much for finding this challenge with me today. Let me know what was the most challenging part in this practice. And if you've come to this part of the video, leave a little bit of a dancing person emoji at the bottom. So I know that you've been doing it. All right, thanks so much for joining in. Well done on the hard work, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.